Well, good morning, everyone. I hope that you got a good night's sleep. You enjoyed Bible study last night. If you were able to tune in and really enjoyed having that back and forth with Solomon, and I hope that you enjoyed it as well. I want to take your attention to Psalm 63 this morning. Um, Psalm 63 is really a beautiful glimpse into a person who is expressing how important the Lord is to them. Um, in fact, verse number 1, if you let me read it to you, it says, "O God, thou art my God, early will I seek thee. My soul thirsteth for thee, my flesh longeth for thee in a dry and thirsty land where no water is." And I think this is a familiar beginning to a psalm that maybe we've heard before. And something that's really neat about this is that it talks about that longing or thirsting or needing to be with the Lord early on in the day. Not something we go, oh yeah, I remember now. I gotta spend time with God. It's something that we look forward to every morning. It's something that we get up and really the first thing we do is spend that time with the Lord. And what's interesting about it is when we spend time with the Lord, that's what inspires some of the greatest times of worship. We might want to pray unto the Lord and share just that joy that we have in our hearts. We may want to actually think on a song we've heard recently and sing. And these are sometimes the most meaningful times that we would ever sing to the Lord. And really, it's a time where beautiful worship can take place. What's interesting about this psalm is it talks about this time of longing and loving and worshiping, but then it also talks about being satisfied in the Lord, that we actually are content because the Lord is with us. We don't need the other things. We don't need at times we don't need the relationships that we might have, not because we don't love those people or need those people, but because we are satisfied. Our soul is filled because we've been with the Lord. Think about this. The person who recognizes this deep need to spend time in God's Word, in close fellowship with Him in prayer, is going to inspire singing. It's going to inspire satisfaction. It's going to inspire just wanting to speak about God in noble ways. But it's also going to give us a very satisfying sleep. Listen to this. In verse number 6 it says, "When I remember thee upon my bed, and meditate on thee in the night watches." This is the times where if we were to wake up in the middle of the night, instead of going, well, what's wrong? What's going on? We might call out to the Lord. When we lay down at night, we might rehearse all the wonder of what God has done for us throughout the day, dwelling on His majesty, getting ready for that peaceful, sweet sleep that comes to those who are genuinely in a loving relationship with God. Psalm 63 is just a beautiful psalm. And think about that. Listen to this. Verse number 7 kind of gives us, I think it's what we all need to know. Listen to this. He says, "Because thou hast been my help, therefore in the shadow of thy wings will I rejoice." And that because thou hast been my help is a past reference. It's behind you. It's like, wow, God, you are always with me. You have taken care of me all the time. And what this will always bring us to is verse number 11. It says, "But the king shall rejoice in God. Everyone that sweareth by Him shall glory. But the mouth of them that speak lies shall be stopped." And so obviously there was something on the heart of the psalmist when this was taking place, that when this one was penned. And he just gives us that understanding that even though people might not understand you, they might not even like the position you take, we can rest in the Lord confidently in that loving relationship that we can have when we long for Him. And I got to ask you this question: does your heart actually long for the Lord? Because if your heart doesn't long for Him, if it longs for everything else, and then, oh yeah, Him, then maybe you haven't spent enough time in His Word. Maybe you haven't spent enough time in prayer. And when you do, you're going to have that song in your heart. It's going to develop in you a desire and a longing to be with the Lord. I hope that your heart longs to be with the Lord this morning. And I hope that's an encouragement to you that will take you through the rest of your day. Don't forget to read that psalm. Enjoy a blessed day and a great start to a great weekend.